yeah, baby. This is so good. Let's make some picadillo. This is one of the best traditional Mexican recipes that you can make with ground beef. It's also easy to prepare, and when cooked correctly, it is super delicious. And there's a few things you need to know to make this recipe perfectly. First up, a good grind of ground beef, aka carne molida. I almost always grind up my own ground beef from brisket and beef trimmings, but in general, I shoot for that 80-20 ratio of meat to fat. You can absolutely buy this at the store as well. This ratio will help the cooking process, which brings me to the second thing that you need, a good hot cooking surface to get that sear and a little char flavor. There's so much extra flavor to add here with the right cooking surface. And today, I'm using the made-in carbon steel griddle. This griddle is perfect to give us that sear. And lastly, the supporting cast. The carne molida is the star of this show, but to be a true picadillo, we're gonna add several other ingredients into this recipe to bring it all together. Now, before we get into the picadillo, I just wanted to take a moment to talk a bit about the sponsor for this video, Made In. Made In designs professional quality products for the home cook, and their products are used in over 2,000 top-rated restaurants and hotel groups across America, and over 100,000 five-star reviews from both press and customers. For today's picadillo, I'm using the made-in griddle and the press. This griddle is versatile enough to cook directly over flames because it's heat safe up to 1,200 degrees. You can also use the griddle inside to cook over your burners on the stove. And that's one thing I really love about this griddle. It has a big cooking surface that can get hot. This reminds me of my restaurant days, especially when we were searing up some bistec or fajitas for tacos. And while packing up the heat for a sear, it's also versatile enough to cook a breakfast like pancakes and eggs. Just like we would do at the restaurant, the made-in griddle is one great cooking surface with all the versatility to cook any food that you're craving. I've also strived to use the best grills and pits to make the best food possible, and now I finally feel like I have the same quality griddle to cook inside and outside. And one of the best things about getting this griddle is that it comes pre-seasoned and is naturally non-stick. So out of the box, it's ready to get fired up and cook some amazing food. Y'all can check out the carbon steel griddle and Made-In's other cookware by using the link in my description to save on your order. Now let's cook up some picadillo. Vámonos! I'm gonna take a little bit of oil. You guys can use whatever oil you like. Now remember, ground beef has 20% fat in it, so you don't want too much oil on there. First thing I'm gonna do is saute these onions. You also want a nice hot griddle to get the ball rolling here. With the onions, I'm going to make some chile toreado. These are jalapenos. I'm gonna turn these and let them roast and toast a little bit. This is a very hot griddle and it can take the heat. I'm also gonna roast these tomatoes on the griddle here, give them a nice little char. I'm gonna cook them. This is gonna be used for our homemade tomato sauce here shortly. All right. Picadillo is just one of those good, comforting recipes that a lot of us Mexicanos cook at home growing up. It's a traditional recipe that's been made for many, many years, many, many generations. Historically, in my family, we call just plain ground beef picadillo, but some people get mad when we say that, so we're gonna do the real picadillo today with onions and a little bit of peas and corn and carrots. And of course, we're making our chile toreado here on the side. Now I like my onions really nicely caramelized the way those are coming along. I'm gonna move these over to this side. I'm gonna get my ground beef going over here. Ooh, yeah, baby. I'm also going to drop my garlics in here now. I like to add the garlic later. If you put it in too soon, under high heat, it'll get a little too toasty, too quick. And then you get kind of a bitter garlic flavor. Tomatoes are looking good. I'm gonna stand them up, watch them dance for a little while. Hey, this one don't want to stand up. They're slipping and sliding. Got a different spatula over here, which really doesn't matter because we're gonna blend it all together anyway. That sure smells good today. This is about a pound of 80-20 ground beef. Now, if you look close, the camera's kind of picking that up here. You can see that the meat's starting to get that sear. That's called the Maillard reaction. Friends, that's just pure flavor. And keep my tomatoes over here. Let's turn them sideways again. Try to get a little sear going, a little bit more. I'd say these chiles are done, baby. They look good to me. So I'm gonna add the onions and the garlic over here so my garlic doesn't get too toasty. I think it's time to get these tomatoes out and get us a little tomato sauce going. I think I could have used another half a pound of ground beef, hon. We're gonna add a little bit of cumin here, comino, just a little shake. It's not a measurement, but if you want a measurement, I'm gonna say that's about 1/8 of a teaspoon. And I do think I underestimated how big this griddle is. I'm gonna add some OG and we're gonna add a little bit more ground beef. That's about another ½ pound. I think I'll add the whole thing. Let's see what happens. Let's just cook it all, babe. It's 2 pounds total. They're both gonna cook for 10-15 minutes, so it's perfectly fine. No issues here, friends. What do y'all call it, cumin or cumin? We call it comino. And it is time to add our potatoes as well. So I'm gonna add these potatoes in here. Let them cook up with the ground beef. I'm gonna get those potatoes in there and get them cooking. We're doing good now. We're cooking. Look at that beautiful color on the ground beef there. I love that awesome little sear that you get on here. You can see it right there. That's what you want. That's pure flavor, my friends. We're also gonna throw in our bell pepper, let that kind of cook down so it's not too crunchy. I like a little crunch on my bell pepper, but you want it to cook for a little while so that the flavor will come out of that bell pepper and infuse the rest of the dish. All right, we wanna go ahead and mix all this in really well here. And the reason I'm not blending the two meats together yet is because I want to get some char over here on this one. The taters are starting to look a little bit translucent. You can tell they're cooking really well. We'll be done here in no time. It looks like I got a little more heat over on this side. So I'm gonna move this ground beef this way, try to get a little more heat. Our potatoes are just about done. I'm gonna spread this out. I'm mixing it all up really good. It's time to add the tomato sauce right here, all the way across. Oh, baby, you think that grill's hot? Sounds like it's hot to me. And we're gonna add some of our medley here of carrots, peas, and corn. I'm gonna cover it up. All right, my friends, it's been 5 minutes. I have a feeling the picadillo is done. I'm gonna go ahead and give this a little stir. You can see we're getting more Maillard action here. So I'm gonna go ahead and get this out of the griddle and we're gonna plate it and then we're gonna warm up some Mexican spoons. I'm just saying, that's the best way that I like to eat. I'm gonna warm me up a couple of flour tortillas. For this dish, I like to use flour. Let's give these tortillas a little flippity flip. They're starting to get a little color. They're getting nice and soft. No, I did not personally roll these out. Look how they're puffing up. These are looking good, 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 good. Now it's time for my favorite part of every video. I get to taste the delicious dish that we made today. Now, traditionally, it's cooked in a pan with a lot of broth and stuff, but I demonstrated to you guys today that you can make it on the griddle. If you go out camping, go somewhere, take the griddle with you, you'll be all right. Now, I was gonna use that fork, but everything's better than a tortilla, right? So let's get a tortilla out. All right, let's taste our picadillo today. Man, look at that, friends. Just so good. Oh, that is so good. You're gonna have to give me another bite. Oh. If you guys like this video, make sure you put the like and let me know in the comments below how you make your picadillo. I'm just curious because there ain't no right way, ain't no wrong way. Today we did it outside on an open fire on the griddle. Keep the smoke light, make it work. Boom! This is so good, super good.